Hello, how's it going? Hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's doing good. What the Celtic says, yo. How you doing? What the Celtic? You okay? Hope you're doing well. Robin says PSG winning easily. Let's hope so. This is gonna be like more of a hate along than a watch along, if I'm honest. But to be honest, it's pretty much always like that whenever Liverpool aren't playing. Jimmy Diaz says, hey Jimmy, how are you? Hope you're good. Bagwell says hi Bagwell, how are you? We got Harry. Harry says, hello, how are you? Pretty good. Better than yesterday. Slowly getting my energy back, which is good. How about you? How are you doing? Any more goalkeeping, or is there going to be goalkeeping on the weekend? Fish, being as random as fish ever is just saying Belgrade for some reason. Did you swim to Belgrade, Fish? Is that why you're saying Belgrade? Kelly says, looking forward to this. Me too. I don't think it will kind of top what we had yesterday. What did we have? Into Barcelona yesterday. But it should be good. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what Arsenal do, because they can't just sit back again. They can't just kind of sit back as they always do. So are they gonna attack, or are they just gonna sit back? That's kind of what I'm intrigued to see. School on Saturday, fair enough. Fish says you're going to Belgrade. Okay, where is Belgrade in like Serbia? Shows how bad. Yeah, it is in Serbia. And Serbia is actually further from Poland than I thought. So it goes Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Serbia. Fair enough. Harry says, "Oh, played striker today as well. Oh, that's encouraging. Then that's really good to hear. That must mean that the injury is clearing up and you're slowly feeling better, which is super positive. So yeah, really nice to hear that." Fish says Ipswich will win and Norwich will lose. What competition is that? Let me have a look. I can't see Ipswich or Norwich today, unless that's a different competition. But yeah, let me know. Darwood says hello back. Beautiful day to watch Arsenal flop again. Yeah, beautiful day / evening to see Arsenal flop again. Yeah, especially after what Arteta's been saying. Have you guys seen what he's been saying? Where he's been saying, he's basically been insinuating that kind of Liverpool got lucky, and like if they got the same, he said Liverpool won the league with less points than he got last season, and it's like, whose fault is that? you know what I mean. And I think moreover, the season's not over yet, so Liverpool could beat Arsenal's tally from last season. Not that we need to. You know what I mean? It's just kind of sour grapes. It's just kind of, he's just kind of pathetic. There's not many like managers I despise, but he's definitely one of them. And it's like I don't think he was born too far away from Xabi Alonso. So like, how is Xabi Alonso so lovable, but Arteta so despisable? How does that happen? Gladbach will lose and Colm will win. Fair enough. Ryan says, "Come on, PSG." Yeah, definitely with you there, Ryan. We don't want to see these Arsenal scumbags get to a final. We want to see kind of PSG batter them, and the inevitable fume to follow onwards from there. Arsenal have a lot of chest and a lot of arrogance for a team who hasn't done anything. I don't understand it. Like if Man City have chest, no problem. No problem. Even if Man United have chest, I know they haven't done anything for the last 10 years, but even if Man United are kind of arrogant, I understand it. But Arsenal are just like Spurs from Marks and Spencer. You know what I mean? Like Spurs from M&S. Or for our American colleagues in the chat, M&S is like a fancy UK supermarket. So we could say they're Spurs from... I can't think of a fancy American supermarket now, but yeah, they're just a fancy version of Spurs. Koriwa Rose says ici c'est Paris. Well, I said that with a little French accent. I said that I came out with a little Francais. That wasn't even deliberate. I did study French at school, so je parle un peu de français, and I believe that says here it's Paris. But yeah. My French is okay. But when I went to Paris last year, I was speaking in French and they knew I was English, so they just kind of roll their eyes and just answer me in English. Fish is gay. Oh, but you weren't gay yesterday, Fish. Is it like something that changes based on the day? Is it because it's May? We're in the month of May and May rhymes with gay. Is it that kind of thing, or let me know. GK Lucas says, do you show the game? I wish I could, but if I did, they would ban me. So probably not the best idea. Durwood says, championship is over. It's just playoffs. It's just playoffs to see who gets promoted. What is Fish on? And did Fish bring enough to share with the class? I don't know what Fish is on. I was telling a friend about Fish the other day, saying it's the most random guy. But like, I appreciate his comments. He does make me laugh. But I don't know. I don't know what Fish is on. But whatever he's on, I think we should perhaps all get a bit of that. Ryan says Jabi has class. He does have class. He's got a lot of class. And it's just funny, like how much class Arteta does not have in comparison, considering that I wouldn't say they were necessarily a pairing growing up, but they were kind of compared back in the day. And yeah, like Alonso's up there, Arteta's down there. No XBS says go Paris. I'm with you with that. No XBS. We're hoping for a big Paris win today. Fish says, I fell down, but I was falling for you. Yeah. You said Riz. I think your Riz has kind of worked on me there. So I might be stealing that line. Pep also has class. Yeah. He can at least be humble when he needs to be. But Arteta has like all the arrogance, but nothing to show for it. That's what I don't understand. Maybe he's like over projecting, like, like sometimes when people don't have a lot of money, so they act super, super rich kind of thing. Maybe it's like that with Arteta. He doesn't have any title, so he acts like he's a serial winner, which he isn't. Fish says, rate my nails. I'll give you 9 out of 10, Fish. Not quite a 10 out of 10, but you're almost there. XBS says Arsenal is very bad. They are very bad, and you know what? I hope they don't even get second. Like if Man City gets second, or even if Newcastle gets second, and that means we don't get Isak, I'd take it. Just for some reason this season, I've developed, and I'm sure many people have developed a significant distaste for Arsenal. No XBS also says 1-0 for Paris. I'd take that. Hopefully it'll be more, but yeah, 1-0 for Paris today would be a 2-0 aggregate. That'd be good enough. Arsenal fans, Liverpool are lucky. Arsenal not buying strikers, only defenders. This is the thing, and like they've also been linked with Martin Zubimendi, and I'm like, he's a defensive midfielder. Like, why did they keep buying? Why did they keep buying defenders? And weren't we talking about this the other day when like they had Timber, and then like what's his name, fake tan boy, Ben White came on, and we were like, why have they got a £60 million right back on the pitch, and then a £50 million right back coming on? Like, why are they spending so much money on defenders? And then they say, oh, we don't have a striker. We don't have a striker. Yeah, because your dumb manager keeps buying defenders. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like, you can have like money for tea, but if you spend all your money on tea bags and not any money on water, you ain't gonna have tea. What the Saldex says, guys, I karate kicked Mick Jagger and Bombadillo Crocodilo. That's quite impressive. Did you karate kick them at the same time or one after the other? Fish says, is that the sound that your fish makes when it's swimming? Arsenal are noob, says no XPS. Would you on that? 100%. But like they are genuinely noobs. Like they are genuinely like literally noobs because they haven't achieved anything. Kickoff's just about to start. I'm just gonna set the timer. You know the thing I always mess up. Dembele's on the bench, by the way. I should have probably said that at the start. But I'm just waiting for... There you go. They've started. PSG kicking off, going left to right. Harry says, I'm being bullied on FC. What's FC? Is that EAFC as in the game? I'm trying to think, what does FC stand for? I feel like I should know. Football something. Football chat something. EAFC, it's gotta be. If you don't have at least five major trophies, don't puff your chest out. True. But with respect to Arsenal, they've got absolutely no major trophies in the last 20 years. No Premier League for 21 years now, we can say. And no Champions League ever. So like why are they acting so big? Why are they acting so tough? Like even if they won one of them, it still wouldn't be a reason to puff your chest out, but you could still understand to a certain degree. Like Man City won one Champions League. And even though, again, it isn't much of a reason to puff your chest out, you can still understand to a certain degree that, okay, at least they beat Real Madrid, at least they have something. But I don't understand. I really don't understand. Fish is saying mac and cheese or pizza backwards. Pizza, 100%. I've never been much of a mac and cheese person. I've only ever had mac and cheese once in my life and I didn't really like it. But yeah, pizza's amazing. Ryan says Arsenal had the chance for Haaland and Isak and skipped on them. Yeah, because they wanted to buy another defender instead. It's crazy. Like, I appreciate they play like an 8-1-1 formation, but even then, buy a striker, man. Here's Saliba. Goes Saka. Defended. What the Celtic says, guys, that was a header there for Declan Rice. Declan Rice should have scored that. He just had like a clear header. It was crossed in by Timber. Yeah, Rice needs to do better there. Rice had a clear header, but completely missed the target. What the Celtic says, guys, I karate kicked Mick Jagger and Bombadillo Crocodilo to save you and Fish. Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate that very, very much. Sonny's here after the traumatizing experience that he had yesterday. Says, Arsenal, you better not win. I have my rope. I was going to mention the rope and chair, and then I said, I better not. But you mentioned it. You mentioned it anyway. Harry says, yeah. I guess that's for the EAFC Oh yeah, of course, because it's not called FIFA anymore, right? It's EA EAFC, I think. Last time Arsenal was winning, I was a baby. Yeah, I was in primary school. it was that. It was that. It was it was that long ago. And even then, like even when I was in primary school, and actually no, secondary school, not primary school. Arsenal have a chance there, but saved by Donnarumma. It was basically a long throw in, and I think Martinelli had an easy tap in. But you know, because Martinelli's shite, he tapped it right at Donnarumma. If Martinelli does that slightly to the left, slightly to the right, it goes in. But yeah, last time Arsenal won, I was in secondary school, and even back then, even when Arsenal were good, even when Arsenal had Arsene Wenger, even when Arsenal had Thierry Henry, I don't remember them being quite this loud. Yeah, but Arsenal have had two big chances here, and they've failed to convert both of them so far. Sunny says the only thing Arsenal should be proud of is Henry, and guess what? He left Arsenal to fry bigger fish. He did. He tried to win the Champions League with Arsenal. He couldn't. So he then went to Barcelona, i.e., the team that beat Arsenal in the final. Pretty funny. Oscar Denis says Galatasaray. Galatasaray indeed. What do you think's going to happen with Victor Osimhen, Oscar? Do you reckon he'll stay, or do you reckon he'll move on? It's the foul by Nuno Mendes on Saka. Ryan says, I was a huge TT fan as a child. Yeah, he was a top player. Very good player, pretty much had it all. Lot of pace, very good finisher. Decent with his head. Good. He had kind of quite good playmaking ability as well. So yeah, you can understand kind of being a fan of kind of such a good player like that. I guess the telling thing is that was like 20 years ago, and I don't feel like Arsenal have really had a talisman since then, if you know what I mean. So Liverpool had Gerrard a similar sort of time, but then after that they had Salah in terms of being the talisman for the team. And you can even kind of talk about other clubs. You can even say, okay, Bruno Fernandes is the talisman for Man United, even though they haven't really won much. But I don't know who Arsenal's talisman is. They don't really have one. Harry says PSG are winning. I'm gonna count the zeros. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 zeros, is that like 100 million %? Yeah, it must be right. So PSG are winning 100 million %. I'm with you on that. Arsenal, I don't think Arsenal have the mental strength to kind of come back from this. They're doing okay, but this always kind of happens in Europe. First 5 minutes, team comes flying at the blocks. Then when they don't score, motivation goes down. Then they start feeling dejected. But yeah, I think PSG got this. Even there, shot by Odegaard, perfect opportunity, but saved by Donnarumma. So again, it was a throw-in, headed out by PSG, smacked by Odegaard. Again, Donnarumma is like a cheat code because he's like 8'4". Fish says, no, my girlfriend is cheating on me with my own cheeseburger. I thought you had a wife the other day. So do you have a wife and a girlfriend? Not judging, just curious. Just curious and slightly jealous. Sunny says, so who's the favourite now, Inter or PSG? I would be okay with any of them winning because no shit, Arsenal are gonna lose. Yeah. Who's the favourite? That's a tough question. I feel like Inter can like grind out results like they did yesterday, but PSG are kind of strong in all areas. So I'd probably give it to PSG just about. But they're both very strong teams. Oh yeah, of course. I thought I was forgetting someone. You know, when I said Gerrard was the talisman and then it was Salah. Like in the back of my head, I was like, I swear there was someone else in the middle. And then I was thinking of Suarez, but I thought, no, not Suarez. But yeah, of course, Jordan Henderson. You're 100% correct, Ryan. So Gerrard was the talisman. Then Jordan Henderson was the talisman. Even when Gerrard was still in the team and Jordan Henderson was kind of the young understudy, Jordan Henderson was very good back in the day. So yeah, you've kind of solidified the point even more to say it went from Gerrard to Henderson to Salah, and not even just Salah. You could also argue Van Dijk to a certain degree as well. But Arsenal don't really strike me as a team with any leaders or any anyone like that. I don't even know who it's Odegaard, isn't it, their captain? Another throw into Arsenal. It is fascinating to see their set pieces, to be fair. Headed away by PSG. Headed away by PSG again. Ryan says, if you can't win at home, it's always a struggle. It is always a struggle. And speaking of struggle, PSG might be able to break now. PSG are on the counter. Hakimi's in a lot of space. Then does an absolute rubbish cross. But that's the danger there. Arsenal had committed a lot of men forward. PSG broke on the counter, but Hakimi's cross wasn't the best of crosses, shall we say. Sonny says, oh, come on. Gerrard was way greater than Salah. Man with the spirit and embodiment of Liverpool. Don't compare to Salah. Yeah, that isn't kind of what we were saying. We were kind of saying, in some ways, Salah took over as the kind of talisman of the team. So the talisman, say, 20 years ago was Gerrard. And then Gerrard handed that over to Jordan Henderson. And then Jordan Henderson handed that over to Salah. But yeah, if we're comparing Gerrard and Salah 1-to-1, then yeah, of course we'd put Gerrard higher. But we were more kind of saying Liverpool always seem to have like a person that they can rely on to kind of turn up. Fish said, Luke did that. You mentioned him yesterday, the person that eats spicy food. Yeah, I haven't got around to it yet. But I'll try and do that. Sunny says, so what we discussed yesterday, is there anyone from Inter, if they win the UCL, a contender to Ballon d'Or, or is it still Rafinha, Dembele, Salah? To be honest, it's probably just the latter three that you've mentioned there. I saw some odds today for the Ballon d'Or, and Dembele is still the first favourite. Salah's the second favourite. And Rafinha's now kind of third favourite after Barcelona went out. So yeah, nobody really jumps out from an Inter perspective with respect to the kind of Ballon d'Or. Martinez, nah. Thuram, nah. Frattesi, nah. Jan Sommer had an amazing performance yesterday, but even then, nah. To be honest with you, I think now it's between Dembele and Salah. Of course, we want Salah to get it, not for any particular reason. But to be honest, I don't think he'll get it because he doesn't. This is going to sound really bad, but he doesn't really have like an exotic kind of. He doesn't really have like an exotic name. If Salah was Brazilian, or if Salah was Spanish, or if Salah was English, he'd have the PR. But I almost feel like you have to kind of be one of those three, otherwise you're not going to get it. It's unfortunate. I don't agree with it, but it's just the impression that I get. But I think with Rafinha kind of being South American, Again, I don't agree with it, but the feeling I get is he'd be favoured. Perhaps subconsciously because of that. Fish says, no, my girlfriend is the only one I like. Dean and I will never be able to get that defeated with you. Who is Dean? You've never mentioned this Dean person before. Is Dean the girlfriend or is Dean somebody else? That's the important question here. Ryan says, I love Mo, but Gerard is the number one, but this is Salah time now. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I think if we were comparing kind of Gerard and Salah, for me, Gerard is still kind of above Salah in the Liverpool ranking. Gerard had a way of kind of dragging the entire team along with him when the entire team was rubbish. Whereas Salah doesn't really do that to the same degree. He can maybe do it by kind of popping up with a goal here and there, but I've never seen anyone drag along a team of 10, I won't say average, but 10 average players up to a world-class level like Gerrard did. Gerrard's the best Liverpool player I've ever seen. I'm a bit too young to have seen Kenny Dalglish. And I've seen like YouTube clips and all that, but it's not the same. But yeah, Gerrard would still be number one for me. Salah probably number two. But I think there's an argument for Van Dijk as well. But yeah, we're spoiled for choice. This is a good problem to have, to be fair. That Nuno Mendes who's on the ball now, he's pretty amazing. And as I said that, he just messed it up. He gave the ball away. But thankfully, he gave the ball away to Odegaard, who then gave the ball away himself. PSG in a bit of space now. Arsenal, to be fair, have committed a lot more men forward than they usually do, which is giving PSG a lot of space. Ryan says, I think Rafinha will win it because he's Brazilian. Yeah, that's what I think as well. I think if you're Brazilian or you're Spanish or Brazilian, basically South American, so Brazilian, Argentinian, or Spanish or English, I just think for whatever reason you're more likely to win it. I think especially if Barcelona win the La Liga as well, there will be an argument. I think both Salah and Rafinha have been very, very good. Come on, Kvaratskhelia. Oh, he just hit the inside of the post. That Kvaratskhelia, man. I'm very rarely, I wouldn't say upset. I'm very rarely disappointed we don't get a player. But that Kvaratskhelia, he got the ball at edge of the box, shot it, and it just bounced off the post. Shot it top corner and it bounced off the post. I'm so disappointed that we didn't get Kvaratskhelia. I appreciate it's probably because he was asking for too much money. But even then, man. Sunny says, oh, you mean generation talent? As Salah, then he is the generation talisman. I thought who you said is the greatest talisman for Liverpool. Yeah, so we just kind of met within this kind of generation, if you know what I mean. So yeah, you could say Salah for this generation, perhaps Jordan Henderson for the previous generation. Fish making me laugh. Fish is oh, you're hurting my ribs. You're making me laugh. Say, I'm sleeping, so shut up. Oh, God. That's quite a good one, to be fair. You know when you laugh so much, your ribs start hurting. I'll try and I'll try and be a bit quieter. Yeah, so we were just basically saying the talisman for Liverpool within within this generation, and we were saying how it doesn't feel like Arsenal have had any sort of talisman since Thierry Henry. Perhaps that Chilean guy, Alexis Sanchez, perhaps to a certain degree. Yeah, but even then, I think Sonny's got the right idea there. Time to change Salah name to Salinho. Ballon d'Or, here we come. Salinho will do. Or so Salinho is his Brazilian name. What could his English name be? I was gonna say Salford, but then Salford is like Manchester, so probably not. Sally, maybe. But yeah, I think Salinho's a good one. Perhaps Cellini if he was like Italian or Argentine. Cellini, yeah, Cellini would win a Ballon d'Or. Salah wouldn't, but Cellini would win a Ballon d'Or. And if he was Spanish, Salanoso would win a Ballon d'Or. Yeah, but Salah's not gonna win one. Sunday says best duo: Henri Bergkamp or Rooney CR7. For PL, if I'm correct, CR7 and Waza were a duo, or was it a trio? I think is that when they had Carlos Tevez? Was Carlos Tevez on the left back then? I mean, both pretty good duos, to be honest. If you pushed me for an answer, I'd probably go Rooney CR7, but many people would go Henri Bergkamp, and that's fair as well. As much as I dislike Man United and Everton, the first time I saw Wayne Rooney at 16, I thought, what on earth is this? Like, from a good perspective, I was like, never seen a 16-year-old play like that. Odegaard, he needs to be closed down. Thankfully, it goes to Martinelli. Yeah, Martinelli's trash, and Martinelli loses the ball. So, thank the Lord for that. Fish says, I'm sleeping, so shut up or off my memo. See, we need to afford $4. So if I shut up, do you get $4? This is my favorite comment, I gotta say. Of all the like weird ass stuff that you say, Fish, it's just because it's so blunt and it's just to the point. I'm sleeping, so shut up. I might put that on my gravestone. It's pretty good. I'm permanently sleeping, so shut up. Ryan says change the number and let him play for England. Yeah, Salah on the right for England, and then Saka can hold bench. Saka can hold bench, or maybe he can play right back, left back. Yeah, change the nation. Yeah, Salah would do pretty good for England. Ryan says I would go Henri Bergkamp. It was just wild to watch. Yeah, they were prettier. They were definitely prettier to watch, I think. Especially Bergkamp. Was it versus Newcastle? He scored that amazing goal. So yeah, I would perhaps go for Ronaldo and Rooney from an output perspective. But yeah, oh my God, PSG are through here. Arsenal got Saliba back, but Saliba's crap. Goes to Doué. Doué beats Saliba. But his shot is a bit weak. Rio de Janeiro 007 said, if I had a chance to kill yesterday's ref, I would definitely do it. Are you a Barcelona fan, Rio de Janeiro? And how would you kill yesterday's ref? It says 007 in your username, so you must be James Bond. So you must kill him like in a covert, like spy type of way, I guess, silencer from across the room, or poison or something. I probably shouldn't be saying this. But yeah, presume you're a Barcelona fan. A lot of people were quite angry with the referee. I saw that today. Were there any particular calls that you were most upset about, or is it just in general? Sunny says most undeserved Ballon d'Or. Rank them: CR7, Messi, Nedved, Cannavaro, Rodri. No disrespect to anyone, and I'm a Messi fan. Oh, those are the years. So 2013 CR7, 2023 Messi, Nedved 2006, Cannavaro 2024. No. The numbers at the start. So 2006 Cannavaro, 2024 Rodri. Yeah. So I'm still a bit annoyed about the Van Dijk one where Van Dijk didn't get it. Rio de Janeiro 007 says the 007 is random. So somebody must have taken the username Rio de Janeiro. So you added on 007. Fair enough. But yeah, I presume you're a Barcelona fan. It was an interesting game. It was an interesting game. A lot of emotions, especially how kind of Inter went 2-0 up. And then Barcelona went 3-2 up, and you thought, okay, yes, Barcelona are going to come back, and then Inter got back into it. So yeah, I understand your frustration. If it's any consolation, Rio de Janeiro, and I appreciate that's probably not what you want to hear right now, but I think you have got a very good team. You've got a very good team. And if you just dedicate all of your efforts and your spending towards your defenders, so if you buy another defender or something, I think you'll be very dangerous. Ryan says Van Dijk was robbed and so was Haaland. Yeah, both of them were robbed. I just kind of felt like with the Ballon d'Or, it became like a Ronaldo Messi kind of thing. Like, even if this might sound a bit dumb, but like, even if actually I'm going to use an extreme example, but like, even if Ronaldo and Messi had like a 6 out of 10 season, which they didn't, but even if they did, I just feel like even if Ronaldo or Messi had like a 6 out of 10 season and Van Dijk had a 9 out of 10, Haaland had a 10 out of 10, it's still like a Ronaldo Messi kind of popularity contest. Not that I'm butthurt. Pixel's in the chat saying, hey all, hey Pixel, hope you're good. I did some research. I looked up your Daniel Munoz, 28 years old, Crystal Palace. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good as a right back. I think the only thing is he has signed a new contract recently, and he says Crystal Palace is his home. But irrespective of that, he does look very, very good. Colombian right back for Crystal Palace. Kind of good going forward, good defensively, got a lot of energy about him. Pretty good cross on him, good passing. So definitely one to keep an eye on. It's a free kick to PSG. Headed out. Oh, PSG have scored! PSG have scored! Fabian Ruiz. See, I don't get that happy when Liverpool score. When Liverpool score, it's like, oh, Salah has scored. Oh, okay. Oh, Jota has scored. But when it's Arsenal, celebrations ensue. And what a goal it was. Fuck, I don't want to hide. Let's change that. PSG are 1-0 up. Arsenal's head are going to drop now. So it was a free kick. It was headed out by Partey. It went to Fabian Ruiz, edge of the box. Fabian Ruiz skipped past Martinelli because Martinelli's trash. Fabian Ruiz whacks it with his left foot. And it's 1-0. Uh, 007 yesterday, it was 7-6. It gone. See you in 5 years when they're in the semis. I think you're being a bit pessimistic, Sonny. I think you'll be a threat next year as well, because a lot of your good players are like quite young. Yamal's 19, Pedri's young, Gavi's young. Rafinha isn't old by any sort of the imagination. I think you'll be a force. I think you'll be a force next season. And moreover, the other point is La Liga next year is going to be a lot easier for you because Real Madrid have bought like a terrible right back. So your left wingers, with respect to Rafinha or whoever, are going to tear Real Madrid apart because of their right back situation. Ryan says, "I understand the World Cup, but Messi was nowhere to be seen in that World Cup." Is that the one that they were, the one that they won and then he got it? Yeah. He didn't. He didn't have the best World Cup, but it's probably one of those when they just kind of gave it to him because of who he was. But I hear you. If anything, I felt like PSG are through. Is that Barcola? Don't fuck it up. Turns inside. That must be. Get. Barcola is trash, man. I'm sick of everyone going on about Barcola. Everyone saying Liverpool need to buy Barcola. I do not see the fascination. The only fascinating thing about Barcola is his hairstyle. Why did he go near post? He had the entirety of the goal to the right hand side empty and he shoots effing near post. Crossed in. That was a shite cross. Only worth 25 million though. Oh, is that so? Munoz has got a 25 million pound release clause. Well, 25 million is the price bracket that the Liverpool Football Club shops in. So if he's available for 25 million, then we might need to jump on that. To be fair, you got a point because sometimes players do sign new contracts with release clauses, partly to facilitate a move, but partly to also ensure that their pre-existing club gets a bit of money. That's what good people do, like Munoz. That's what good people do, like Alexis McAllister. And that's what scumbags like Trent don't do, because they don't sign new contracts with release clauses. They just take all the money for themselves. So yeah, I mean, if he's got a 25 million pound clause, that's our kind of price range. Sonny says, at least PSG are giving me something to laugh about. AFTV, here I come. Yeah. I will be doing that tonight as well. AFTV clips, though. I prefer AFTV clips because it's just the clips. But yeah, I'll give him a few hours to upload some clips. Then I'll have a look. Sonny says, are you saying Trent is bad? Yeah, he's the worst player I've ever seen. Worst right back I've ever seen. Worst haircut I've ever seen. Worst little beard I've ever seen. I'm not biased, by the way. If anything, that goalkeeper deserved it. He was absolutely class. Yeah, Martinez in the World Cup, he was very, very good. He got like goalkeeper of the tournament, didn't he? And then he stuck the trophy on his crotch. Do you remember? And then he got in trouble for that. Yeah, Martinez was very good. Alexis McAllister was quite good as well, I recall. Ryan says, please don't buy him. He missed so many sitters. Is this Barcola? Yeah, I honestly don't see the fuss. I don't see the fuss. Like I see like people talking about, oh, we should get Barcola. I'm like, really? Him? Like Kvaratskhelia is better, Doué is better, Dembele is better. So do we really want PSG's fourth placed winger? Again, that in itself wouldn't be an issue. You could say Jota wasn't first choice when we got him from Wolves, but like Barcola, other than his hairstyle, which I think is quite good, other than that, I don't see it. Messi won his 8th Ballon d'Or purely on his legacy. If it was anyone else, hardly top 3, maybe top 10 for sure. Yeah, sometimes sometimes trophies are awarded based on sentiment. I remember, was it 2012, 2013? Like Ryan Giggs got the Player of the Year, and he played like 3 games the whole season. So sometimes it is a sentimental awarding of the trophy. It's basically a popularity contest. Let's be honest. But if Salah wins it, then it's not a popularity contest. Ryan says, so he will be at Arsenal in the summer. Is that Barcola? Yeah. Barcola can be their Gabriel Jesus version 2.0. Arsenal have needed a striker for the last millennium. All they do is buy defenders. But when they do buy a forward, they still don't get an out-and-out striker. Like Gabriel Jesus isn't really a number 9. Kai Havertz ain't a number 9. So yeah, Barcola might be one that they go for. Arteta looks flustered on the sideline, but when does he not? Sonny says, what? Ryan Giggs won it for what? It was like a PFA kind of Player of the Year kind of thing. I think it was like 2012, 2013, kind of back in the year, back in the day. It wasn't Ballon d'Or. It was like the PFA Player of the Year, and he had like a handful of appearances the entire season, and he still got the award. So I was just kind of saying that's another example of a award being awarded based on sentiment rather than based on actual performance during the year. Even when Rodri won it, in my opinion, Danny Carvajal deserved it way more. Yeah, that's another one. Ooh, Arsenal through here. It is basically a glorified popularity contest, and I think that's perhaps why Salah doesn't get it. Because again, I don't know if it's because he's from Egypt or whatever. But Salah doesn't seem to have the same PR that other players do. I mean, Salah's numbers are out of this world, but you sometimes feel like not enough of a big deal is kind of made about that, to be honest. Whereas if it was Harry Kane getting those numbers, if it was Ollie Watkins getting those numbers, it would be a much bigger deal. Hullet Jr. says, I'm shocked to hear such an ungrateful statement about Trent from a Liverpool fan. Do many Liverpool fans share the same opinion? I'd say some Liverpool fans do, some don't. I'm overdoing it to a certain degree just for comedic effect, if I'm honest. But if you want my kind of honest opinion, how do I phrase it? How do I phrase it in a more mature manner compared to what I said earlier when I said I hate his haircut, I hate his beard, and he can rot in hell. I still think he's a scumbag. If you want my honest opinion, Hullet, I still think he's a scumbag. Just to kind of give some examples for my reasoning for that, he only signed a 4-year contract when everyone else signed a 5-year contract. So that to me says if you're only signing for 4 years when everyone else is signing for 5, you're already kind of thinking about your next move. And moreover, in addition to that, my issue isn't with Trent for leaving. Like if you want to leave, no problem. You want to experience a new culture, a new country, no problem. For me, it's the fact that he's leaving on a free. If he had said 2 years ago, you know what, I'll sign a new contract with a £20 million release clause, with a £30 million release clause, so that the club gets something, and then we sold him for 20-30 million, I'd be like, you know what, fair. It's a compromise. He's worth more than 30 million, but we get 30 million, maybe he gets 30 million pound signing on fee, half, both sides are fair, everyone wins. But it's the fact that he's going for free, and it's the fact that he's getting a giant signing on fee when the club that made him is essentially kind of getting nothing. And in addition to that, there's the whole, this means more. He's been saying for years, this means more, this means more. It's like this meant nothing to you then. This actually meant nothing to you if you're leaving on a free. Furthermore, when he scored the goal, he did that celebration. Is that to the fans now, saying, that's not a good thing to do, is it? Additionally, I can't say furthermore because I've given multiple reasons. Additionally, all year long, Salah has been saying, I want to stay. I want to stay. I want to stay. Van Dijk has been saying, I want to stay. I want to stay. I want to stay. Trent ain't said shit. Trent ain't said anything. He's the vice captain of the club. And he hasn't done he's done one interview a few weeks ago, but other than that, hasn't done a single post-match interview. Whereas James Milner was doing post-match interviews every single game. I just think he's a coward. And what I think has happened is, I think he's engineered this move. And in addition to that, I think he was praying that Liverpool would be rubbish this year so that he could say, oh, you know what? They're not matching my ambition. They're not matching my ambition. They're not winning trophies. So I want to go Real Madrid and win trophies. So I think the fact that Liverpool have won something this year has thrown a bit of a spanner in the works. But, PSG through here. Doué? Unlucky. But yeah. It's just the nature. It's just the nature. It's just the nature of how he's engineered the move. If you compare him to Alexis McAllister as an example, McAllister from Argentina, he signed a new contract with Brighton so that Brighton would get a bit of money. Granted, it's not what McAllister was worth, but he still signed a new contract so that the club would get something. And he was at Brighton for just a few years. Trent's been at Liverpool since he's a kid. I haven't even mentioned anything about him being a local lad, by the way. This is all that makes it even worse, which we will get to in a bit. But yeah, it's the sheer fact that the club is getting absolutely kind of nothing for it. It just feels a bit ungrateful to kind of what made you, if you know what I mean. Ungrateful to the fans, ungrateful to the staff, ungrateful to the club overall. If he'd gone for 20 million, I'd be like, you know what, you're worth a lot more, but at least we're getting something, and now you'll get something. Let's move on with our lives. But it's the fact, it's just the greed with respect to kind of going for a free. I just find it quite disgusting, to be honest. Not once has he kind of said that he kind of loves the club. And moreover, he put out this crappy little video, sorry. Granted, I could only watch 3 seconds of it before I closed it, but it was like, I am so sad to leave Liverpool. It's so hard. Like, it's such like fake video where he's just reading off a teleprompter. It just feels so ungenuine. Somehow he managed to put out a worse video than Jordan Henderson did. It's just completely devoid of emotion, completely devoid of anything genuine. And it's, I just don't have anything positive to say. So that's kind of how I feel about it. I don't wish him well. I don't wish him well, and I don't wish him bad. It is what it is. I do think he's going to struggle there, if I'm honest. I don't think the Real Madrid fans are going to be anywhere near as forgiving as the Liverpool fans are. So I think first mistake, they might forgive him. But second mistake, they'll turn on him instantly, because those fans aren't like Liverpool fans. Liverpool fans very forgiving, and just to give an example of that, they're literally still shouting Nunez, Nunez, Nunez when he's missed a gazillion chances, which from a fan perspective, to a certain degree, you have to respect that they're still backing the guy, even though he's missed a gazillion chances. You won't get that sort of love at Real Madrid. So long story short, what I predict is going to happen, he's going to be super, super excited. He's going to mess up. He's going to lose his man at the back post. He's going to lose a header at the back post. He's not going to track back. Real Madrid fans will turn on him. Jude eventually ain't going to want to associate with him. Because again, this is the thing, like when you're young, you think, oh, it would be nice to hang out with my friend Jude every single day. But trust me, once you see your friends every single day, that shit gets annoying. So there's probably a bit of naivety there. But as I said, I think the fans will turn on him. Eventually, Jude will get sick of him. And even though he's signing a 6-year contract, he ain't going to be there for 6 years. Real Madrid going to sell him after about 2 years. Possibly to Bayern Munich, but more likely to Aston Villa or Newcastle. He'll be sitting on their bench wondering what a mistake he made, I think. And maybe when he's 40, 50, he might look back at the La Liga he won and the Champions League he won, but he won't look back on those trophies as fondly as the 2 Premier Leagues for Liverpool, and the 2 Premier Leagues and the 1 Champions League for Liverpool. And in addition to that, I went to the Legends game a few weeks ago. Every time Gerrard got the ball, he was cheered like I've never heard in my life. And Trent could have had that, but he ain't gonna get it now. Gerrard's still kind of treated like a god, and in some ways, and I appreciate everyone's kind of different, but in some ways, some people might value that more than a trophy. Just the way he's like completely adored, and like everyone was pretty much fawning over an overweight Steven Gerrard. Like the fact that, you know, where I say that as a compliment. Like Trent could have had that, but he ain't gonna have that. But it is what it is. Good luck to him, but also not. 3 games, what did he score and assist? 50 goals and 50 assists, I guess. Is that Trent? Ryan says, I hope that nobody nobody right back fails so hard. He's a fraud. He's a fraud. I think he will fail. I think quite often your success is dependent on the environment that you're in. And another thing we have to kind of remember, Trent is covered a lot in Liverpool's system. He's covered a lot by Konate, who is rapid. And when we won the title the first time, he was covered a lot by Joe Gomez, who is also rapid, especially back in the day. He ain't going to get that kind of covering at Real Madrid. Arsenal through here. Your local lad leaving on a free transfer is a despicable action. It is. It's despicable and it's disgusting. A lot of people, they conflate the point. They say, well, if he wants to go, he should. It's not the fact that he's going. It's the fact that he's going on a free. That feels like a slap in the face. Like the fee Liverpool should be getting, him and his agent brother are going to shove into their bank accounts. I do think he's making a mistake. He won't realize it now, but he'll realize it in a few months. It was either Danny or Vinny for Ballon d'Or. And what PR does Rodri have? Because I don't follow last year. I know he won the PL and Euros. Yeah, I guess from a Rodri perspective, he's Spanish. So Spanish players do feel like they have kind of better PR than, say, the Egyptian players. An example is like Yaya Toure. Yaya Toure. Yaya Toure was kind of absolutely amazing. But Yaya Toure perhaps didn't get the praise and the adulation that he perhaps deserved. And it's probably because of where he was from, unfortunately. It just seems like Spanish players, Brazilian players get kind of better PR than the other players. So I'd probably put Rodri into that bracket. Prepared with a drink today. Durwood says, I'm excited to see Real Madrid win. When he said, I'm excited to see, I was like, oh, okay, excited to see. And then, you know, when you read the first half of a sentence and then you think it's going one way, and then you read the second half and it goes in a completely different way. I'm excited to see Real Madrid with nothing next season, and 66 walks away with nothing. Yeah. I do think he's going to have a tough time, especially with Barcelona's kind of wingers and so forth. I think the real concern for Trent, from my perspective, is perhaps more from a mental side rather than from a physical side. I don't think he necessarily has the mental strength to cope with the situation that he's gonna face. Lilo, 1 second. Lalo Lilal says thoughts on Hakimi. Pretty good right back. Actually, that's putting it a bit lightly. See, I'm gonna stop the timer now before you guys say, "Oh my God, the timer's on 58 minutes." There you go. I remembered today. Yeah, Hakimi, very good right back. One of the best right backs in the world, really. Physically very good, technically very good. From a Liverpool perspective, outside of our price range, he's on ridiculous kind of wages. Hullet Junior says, what do you think about Florian Wirtz and the rumours he only wants to move to Bayern Munich, missing out on Real Madrid and Manchester City? Yeah, I saw that. It was a news story that came out yesterday, wasn't it? Where it said Florian Wirtz has told Xabi Alonso that he only wants to move to Bayern Munich. Honestly, my thoughts on it are quite simple. Like, German players love Bayern Munich. So if he's German, he's going to probably want to play for Bayern Munich. He's still quite young, though, so perhaps something like Real Madrid could be a move for him later in his career. But yeah, I didn't find it too surprising. Again, I don't know if it's because I was looking at that a bit too simply, but yeah, I just read it like, yeah, of course, German player, Bayern Munich. We got Atom in the chat. How you doing, Atom? Hope you're doing well. He says, I hear that. As a Villa fan, our version of Trent, was Jack Grealish. He would have had a statue at Villa Park if he'd stayed. And he'd be playing in the Champions League. Yeah, and he'd be playing in the Champions League. And he'd be playing in the Champions League in front of his own fans. He'd be playing in the Champions League kind of for his own people. He just looks a bit... I don't know if out of place is the right word, but he's always kind of felt a bit kind of out of place at Man City, even when kind of he was doing well. And I don't... Again, we can't predict the future, but he will perhaps look back on his career when he's older, when he's retired. Will the trophies at Man City really matter that much? Like, are you really gonna fondly look back at your Premier League with Man City if 5 seconds later they just dumped you on the bench because they got Doku? You know what I mean? It would just leave a sour taste in your mouth. Like, oh yeah, there's the one that I won in 2021 or whatever. Oh, by the way, 2023 was awful, and 2024 was one of the worst years of my life. So if you kind of associate such bad events with your time there, can you really look back positively on the older events? I wouldn't. Like, this is going to be like a really bad example. But like, I don't know, if you're in a new relationship and it's really good at the start, but then it's absolutely atrocious at the end, would you ever you would consider the relationship as one whole piece? Would you really look back at the start and say that often, or would you look at it as a whole? I don't know. I guess I guess everyone's a bit different, but he has kind of missed out. I think he has kind of missed out not being able to play in the Champions League with his home team as the captain. Again, I'm not in his brain, but I would like to think that being able to lead his own team out at Villa Park with the Champions League anthem playing, that would have had a lot of value. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I guess the kind of saving grace to a certain degree is that he did raise a lot of money for Villa. But yeah, it's a similar sort of situation. Pixel says up and atom indeed. Atom says exactly. Nobody will remember him as some great Man City player. He's a footnote with Man City. Yeah, I was thinking about that. The other day with respect to Trent. Like, Trent thinks he's going to go there and be some sort of amazing right back. But it's like, Trent, you're like not even this with respect to their history, if you know what I mean. Like, they've had the Salgados, they've had the Carvajals. Like, you're just another guy. I'd rather be the king of a small castle rather than a pauper in a big castle. That's how I'd see it. I think kind of how he was appreciated and how he was loved and kind of how he was adored at Villa. He's not going to get anywhere else, and he hasn't got anywhere else. I think another thing with these clubs like your Man Cities and your Chelseas and so forth is as soon as you're not performing, they just kind of throw you away. Like, oh, we don't want to play with that toy anymore. We want to buy a new toy called Doku. Oh, we don't want to play with that toy. Like even Chelsea have bought another 50 million players from Europe, and it's like that's probably what's going to happen with Trent as well. Eventually they'll be like, yeah, this one's no good. Let's stick him on the bench. Hopefully we can sell him to I don't know, to Newcastle or something and move on. Yeah, it was good for FFP, to be fair. Yeah, that's perhaps the one positive I'd say with respect to the Grealish move. He did get them a lot of money. Sunny says, I love the fact that this year the only time Guardiola flopped was when Klopp left. Man lost the league twice in 90s and now he's turned to rubbish. Yeah, Klopp must be a bit fuming. Be like, look, I got 92 points and I got 97 points against this guy, and that wasn't enough. And then as soon as I go, Guardiola decides to have a bit of a breakdown. It is pretty wild. Yeah, Madrid fans will eat him alive. Just remember Hazard and even Iker Casillas, a legend of the club. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, and here's another example: Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti has won them absolutely everything. And now that kind of Carlo Ancelotti is not really performing quite to the same level. I mean, he's still second. He's only like 4 points off Barcelona. I know you're a Barcelona fan. Don't want to make it worse, but you know what I mean. But even Carlo Ancelotti now, they're throwing him away. Like, oh, we don't want him anymore. Now he's shit now. He's shit now. Get rid of him. That's how they treat one of their greatest managers of recent times. So how do you think they're going to treat you, Trent? Now Madrid will at least win something. The club is too big, egos too high, and Papa Perez is too rich for the poor La Liga refs. True. They always do have a way of kind of winning something. My point is more though, would it really mean that much to you as a player like even Steve McManaman has said. So Steve McManaman left Liverpool on a free to go to Real Madrid, and even Steve McManaman has said the trophies I won with Real Madrid, they didn't really feel the same. Sonny says, wait, can't Real Madrid play Trent in the Club World Cup? Because if yes, then they can win, hence Trent winning something. With respect to the Club World Cup, yes and no. Yes and no. So if they want to play Trent in the Club World Cup, they have to pay Liverpool money to release Trent early. They have to pay Liverpool money to release Trent early. So if they don't pay Liverpool any extra money, Trent will not play in the Club World Cup. If I was Liverpool, I would just reject the money. I'd be like, nah, you can keep. I mean, there's rumours that they have to pay Liverpool £1 million to get Trent early. And again, I'm not a businessman or anything. I'd be like, nah, stuff your £1 million. He's staying here. F you. Rather be a king in a small kingdom than a peasant in Rome. Yeah. I'm with you on that 100%. And especially when everyone in that small kingdom appreciates you as the king. Like you're not a dictator. You're a kind of loved and adored king. Hullet Jr. says, what have been Liverpool's 5 biggest flop transfers in the last 5 years? Darwin Núñez probably takes up 4 of those slots. I'm trying to think who else I wouldn't necessarily class anyone else as a flop. Some would perhaps class like Fabio Carvalho as a flop, but like we turned like a £20 million profit on him, so is he really a flop? Only really Darwin Núñez who I would kind of class as a flop, if I'm honest. I'll have a think about that and I'll get back to you though. Ryan Gillespie says, if Trent is going to play in the Club World Cup, does Madrid have to pay Liverpool? Yeah. Because Trent's Liverpool contract, it ends after the Club World Cup is finished. So if Real Madrid want Trent for the Club World Cup, they have to pay us a bit of money to get Trent extra. So sometimes if you buy stuff online, you pay extra money for next day delivery. They're gonna have to pay £1 million for next day delivery to get Trent. Whereas if they want Amazon free delivery is gonna come after the World Cup is over. So yeah, there's rumours that they're gonna have to pay about £1 million. I heard arguments on both sides of the fence, but for me, like, what's £1 million to Liverpool? Absolutely nothing. I'd tell them to get stuffed. I'd tell them, you can keep your £1 million. Durwood says, we need 66 here to keep the bench warm for the rest of the season. Yeah. Keep the bench warm. I'd be tempted not even to put him on the bench, just leave him in the stands. You know what? Put him in the cup or put him in the main stand in between the Liverpool fans. Yeah, forget putting him on the bench. Stick him in the cup or stick him in the main stand between the Liverpool fans. I'm sure that will go fantastic. Hullet Jr. says, I meant to say 10 years. Naby Keita maybe wasn't what Liverpool really hoped for. So how did you feel about Thiago? Yeah, I'd say perhaps Naby Keita. Naby Keita is a good one. He cost about like over £50 million. Didn't really perform. I appreciate a lot of that was kind of down to injuries and fitness and so forth. But yeah, Naby Keita would be a good one. Thiago, I wouldn't necessarily call a flop. I think Thiago did have some very, very good performances. And Thiago's price, he was a lot cheaper than Naby Keita. So he was about £20 million. And he still had, I still feel like Thiago had more good performances than Naby Keita did. But yeah, Naby Keita, Navigator would be a flop. Second half just starting. I'm just going to set the timer again. I hit the timer at the exact right moment. Best free transfer according to you, from a Liverpool perspective, it's between James Milner. It's between James Milner and Joel Matip. I'd probably just about give it to James Milner. But if people say Joel Matip, no arguments. Sunny says, also, you didn't answer. Does this move hurt Trent legacy and Premier League legacy, or will you say in 10 years Trent wasn't that bad? No, it does hurt his legacy. The way I know that is, even when I see Steve McManaman on the screen on the TV now, I get annoyed. If I hear Steve McManaman on commentary, I get pissed off. So, and I'm not even quite old enough to properly remember Steve McManaman, but yeah, I will still be annoyed. Because the first thing that comes to mind whenever you see Steve McManaman and his gormless face and his little curly hair is, oh yeah, he left for a free. So we'll say the same thing about Trent, I think. Sounds like Liverpool did a good transfer business, says Hullet Jr. Yeah, generally speaking, the last 5-10 years we've been very good in the transfer market. Before that, we were terrible with kind of your Balotellis and your Andy Carrolls, but recently we've been kind of quite good, I'd say. Again, there's reasoning before that. Behind that, we use a lot more kind of data now with respect to how we sign players. Darwin Núñez was not a data signing, which is probably why he kind of flopped, but it is what it is. Ryan Gillespie says, who is your top 5 signings in the summer? Well, we're going to need a right back. For right back, I would take Frimpong, even though he's very attacking, but I don't care. For right back, I take Frimpong. There's your number 1. For centre back, Huijsen. There's 2. Left back, Kerkez. There's your 3. For defensive midfield, I'd take Adam Wharton, but I think he's going to be a bit too expensive for us. You know what I mean? But I'd be happy with Adam Wharton, but I think he might be too expensive for us. And for striker, we are not getting Isak. Like, we don't shop. Isak is like Waitrose prices, and we shop at Tesco. We don't shop at like Aldi, but we shop at like Tesco, and they don't sell Isak at Tesco. But for striker, like if we can get Alvarez for a decent fee, possibly him. But I think Alvarez went for 85 million last year, and he's had a great season. So he's going to be more than 85 million, right? Which makes me think this is a bit expensive for us. Striker, I need to think about. Like, people are saying Ekitike, and God, Ekitike looks trash. Not impressed by Ekitike in the slightest. Benjamin Sesko's another one, but he just looks like Darwin Núñez with a nicer haircut. I need to really think about the striker one. But those are some good examples. I think. Sunny says top 10 Barca transfer of all time, and by the way, they're all legends. And number 1 Coutinho, number 1 transfer for us. Yeah, if it wasn't for selling Coutinho, we would not get Alisson, we would not get Van Dijk. Dembele is warming up, by the way. Number 2 Griezmann, and number 3 Dembele. That's how you do business. Yeah, that's very good business. Perhaps not for Barcelona, but it's good business for someone. 10 years. No, that's okay. Understood. Yeah, more than 40 million Liverpool ain't touching. Yeah. We don't shop at Waitrose. We're more kind of Tesco. Sometimes Sainsbury's, if we're feeling a bit Feeling a bit generous, we might go to Sainsbury's and get like a Darwin Núñez. Generally, we kind of shop at Tesco. Get the Andy Robertson. He's like Tesco. You know, Luis Diaz. You could say yeah, kind of Tesco level, 30 million. Jota Tesco level, 30 million. Whereas with Alvarez is like Waitrose, and Isak is like Waitrose, the fruit section. You know the fruit section in Waitrose when it's like £5 for like 2 strawberries. That's what Isak is. So yeah, let's be fair. 80 million in today's market. Yeah, the positive is I think we can raise a lot of money through sales. I appreciate Trent's going for a free, but at the very least his wages are off the books, so that's something. I think we did some calculations the other day, and we kind of came to the conclusion that we're going to probably raise about 150 to 200 million just from sales. So it does give us a lot to play with. And what I will say about this ownership, they don't really give us money for transfers, but any money that we raise through sales, they're kind of cool with. So we raised 140 million from Coutinho, and then they said, "Oh, you want to spend most of that on Alisson and Van Dijk? No problem. It's your money. You can go ahead and do it." Whereas if we didn't sell Coutinho, we would never have bought Alisson and Van Dijk. So that's a positive in the sense that I think we can raise a lot of money this summer, and then FSG have no problem with us reinvesting the money that we raised through our own sales. The whole self-sustaining club concept. So it'll be really interesting. I think in the summer when there's no watch-alongs to do, we might just have to do like Liverpool streams and just talk about the transfers and that sort of thing. Because we're going to need something to keep us sane. So we could probably discuss further then. Sunny asks, what is the all-time highest transfer bid for Liverpool and who was it? Did it turn out good? In terms of what Liverpool paid, so the most expensive player Liverpool have bought, I think, is still Van Dijk for 75 million. And to say it turned out good would be an understatement. It turned out fantastically well. But in terms of the biggest transfer fee received, Coutinho for 140 million. Sonny says, let's talk about the game. What is Arsenal legends Arteta doing? He's crying on the sideline, but Nuno Mendes here is bombing forward. Passed it inside to Doué, goes wide. It's kind of going as we suspected, in the sense that Arsenal came flying. You remember we said Arsenal are coming flying out the blocks at the start. But as soon as they get punished, their heads are going to go down. And then the motivation is going to go down. And then they're just going to look a bit, what's the word? A bit uninspiring. And that's exactly what's happened. Arsenal look defeated. Arsenal don't have that vibe of Inter and Barcelona yesterday, where you know how even Inter and Barcelona, like Inter went ahead, Barcelona went ahead, like the other team always felt threatening yesterday, whereas here Arsenal don't really feel threatening. Sunny says, so Liverpool never crossed 100 million. Nope, never. And we only paid 75 million for Van Dijk because we raised the money from the Coutinho sale. Durwood says, I hope we don't waste time and wait till the last day for transfers. Oh, that will be annoying as hell. We will be losing our minds on the transfer streams we're going to do over the summer. But I'm hopeful. The new regime that we have. So Michael Edwards is the CEO. Julian Ward's the technical director. Richard Hughes is the sporting director. I'm hoping this new regime that we had, they've had a year now to analyze the squad. They've had a year to collect the data that they need. I'm hoping we'll see transfers soon. Because the last time this regime was in, we'd see transfers very early in the window. So Fabinho, for example, this regime, they signed the day after we lost the Champions League final to Real Madrid. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that won't happen. But if it does happen, I'm sure you and I will complain about it in the next few months. Hullet Junior says, what do you think about Liverpool signing Angelo Stiller? Yeah, so this is the defensive midfielder from Stuttgart. He looks alright. Pretty well-rounded, kind of good tackler, good passer. I'm not wowed by him, but I think that might be a bit of unconscious bias on my part because he's not physically the most imposing. You know, like Ryan Gravenberch looks like he was chiseled out of stone. Stiller not so much, but so which is why I think maybe it's just kind of unconscious bias on my part. He looks okay. I mean, he looks alright. I'm not like wowed by him. But if he's the one that they target, then yeah, we will support him. For some reason, like I've got a weird feeling though, like Saka was through there, but again, Nuno Mendes, there's no getting past Nuno Mendes. If Mohamed Salah couldn't get past Nuno Mendes, little Bukayo ain't gonna be getting past him. Yeah, I've got a feeling with Stiller though, like quite often the names that are kind of rumored in the media are not the ones that we get. We see it time and again. Like we're rumored to get Ruben Amorim, nope, and so forth. Saka with the cross, saved. So yeah, with respect to Angelo Stiller, he looks okay, but he doesn't like wow me. Like, oh my god. The closest thing to wowing me is perhaps Adam Wharton. Well, I think Adam Wharton is going to cost double the price. But yeah, but as I was saying, if they go for him, then yeah, we will support him. Sunny says, so this game is trash compared to yesterday. Trash from a goals perspective is there definitely hasn't been. There definitely hasn't been as much action as there was yesterday, but from a mental health perspective, it's brilliant because Arsenal are losing. You know what I mean? So I'd be hesitant to kind of call it trash because Arsenal are just doing absolutely rubbish. And is it like the German word like Schadenfreude, which is when you get like pleasure from seeing people that you don't like mess up? So it's I'd say I'm enjoying it. Not as many big chances, obviously. Sunny says, Arsenal really thought they can come back versus PSG in France. It's delusion, mate. It's delusion of thinking that they're big shots when they're not. Again, we're not saying they're bottom of the barrel, but they're just a fancy Spurs. And Spurs are going to get to a European final this year at the very least. Gullit Jr. says, yeah, it's Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. I was close. Looking up the definition there. Pleasure derived by someone from another person's misfortune. So that sums up this game, right? Pleasure derived by someone, us, from another person's misfortune. Arsenal and Arsenal fans. Arsenal again. Arsenal keep getting throw-ins, man. Keep getting throw-ins on the side of the box. What is it? What is this conspiracy? Partey takes a throw-in. He shouldn't even be playing, but that's a separate conversation. Partey to Timber. Ooh, God, Partey's in space, but cleared by PSG. Cleared by Paris. Crossed in by Saliba. It goes to Marino. It goes to Martinelli. So we can take a drink because Martinelli's not going to do anything. And what's a surprise? The ball's gone out. When the ball goes to Martinelli, you can just chill. You can take a drink or whatever. You can, I don't know, go for a walk, look outside. Nothing's going to happen when it goes to Martinelli. So as soon as the ball went for Martinelli, I was like, okay, I don't need to look at this anymore. That's actually quite disrespectful, isn't it? Oh, ball goes to Martinelli? Okay, nothing's going to happen. I can grab my drink. Because they throw matches on a regular basis is in the DNA. DNA, done nothing else. That's pretty good, that is. The DNA, done nothing else, no. Hulit Jr. says, who's the rookie of this Premier League season? Rookie from a player perspective or a team perspective? From a player perspective, I'd perhaps say, and again, I'm perhaps slightly biased, I'd kind of vote for kind of Ryan Gravenberch. And the reason why I kind of vote for Ryan Gravenberch is because he's a young player, he's 22, he's played every game. So young player, he's played every single game. He's played every single game in a new position. And in doing that, he's performed to an extremely high level and his team has won the league. You know what I mean? Saliba kind of completely fluffed it up there and then just fell over. And if you're a defender and you fall over, the referee's going to blow a whistle. It's absolutely annoying. Rookie from a team perspective, perhaps Nottingham Forest, in the sense that they were predicted to get relegated this season, and they still have a very good chance of getting into the Champions League places. Young Bukayo takes a shot, and again, saved by Donnarumma. Bukayo Saka shaking his head, saying, I can't beat this guy, man. Donnarumma's having a stellar season. That save was amazing, man. Saka shot for the top corner. Donnarumma dived top corner and saved it. Corner to Arsenal. Falls to Saka. Saka loses the ball. Come on, PSG countering. Hakimi running down the left-hand side, but I'll take it. Pass it to Doué, bro. He passes it to Doué. Well played, Doué. Doué to Hakimi. Hakimi shoots. He probably should have passed it. But never mind. PSG are still winning without Dembele, so... It is quite impressive. Quite impressive. Goal kick by Raya. Saka goes to Martinelli, but that's okay. Nothing's going to happen. Can grab a drink. Yep, Martinelli lost the ball. Goes to Martinelli again. Saliba to Marino. Is that Saka on the left? Saka loses the ball. That is Saka on the left. Saka loses the ball. I'm expecting a limp from Saka later in the game. What's the ref? Why is the ref doing this? I swear he was nowhere near the box. Penalty check for what? What is there a penalty check for? Oh, it's a penalty check against Arsenal. Okay, I'll take that. It was that Hakimi shot earlier. That's a penalty. Hakimi took a shot, but Lewis Skelly's arm was at like 9 o'clock. That's a clear penalty. And it is a penalty. It's a penalty to PSG. Like Lewis Skelly's arm was like out like that. You know, earlier when we said, oh, Hakimi takes a shot. It didn't hit Lewis Skelly's arm. It hit his hand. That's how outstretched. That's how outstretched Lewis Skelly's hand was. That is poor. That is poor to It's quite poor defending. But yeah, PSG. I was gonna say if PSG score this, it's game over. But to be honest, it's already been game over for the past God knows how long. Sunny says Bukayo Saka, he should leave Arsenal or he isn't good enough for a big team in general. Because I've been hearing Bukayo Saka for the past 5 years. He's the second coming. Well, that is Arsenal fans, isn't it? That is Arsenal fans kind of summed up. I don't think he'll win anything significant at Arsenal, so it depends. It depends kind of what he values. I even thought Barcelona should buy him after Messi left. Yeah, I mean, there was even rumors about Liverpool. Oh, he's bringing on a defender. He's bringing on Calafiori. For Lewis Skelly. So Lewis Skelly is being punished after one mistake. And he's bringing on Trossard for Martinelli, which is probably the right decision. Vitinha taking a penalty. Good Lord, that is the worst penalty I've ever seen. The worst penalty I've ever seen in my life. Very, very kind of slow run up. Very and quite kind of centralized as well. Quite central as well. Very easy for Raya to get to. That is the most dog turd kind of penalty I've ever witnessed. What are you doing? Don't let that guy take any more penalties. Don't let that guy take any more penalties ever again. Bizarre. Utterly bizarre that is. But wait, I thought Arsenal are allowed to use their hands in the box. Yeah, if it's Odegaard, he can, handball it like this and it's all good apparently. Yeah, Arsenal must have not got the memo. They do that in the Premier League, but the Champions League has better referees. Arsenal going to lose 5-0 at this rate, which they should. I don't want any excuses from the Arsenal fanboys. I guess that's a positive with respect to the penalty being saved, is that they can't then say, we only lost because of the penalty. Cross by PSG. Yeah, PSG need to recover from this now, I think. Hulit Jr. says that was such a weird penalty. It was. Like, the run-up was bizarre. Like, he was like creeping up, like slowly creeping up on someone. It's like, why are you creeping up? Like, we can see you. We can see you. Like, why are you creeping up? And then that's kind of part of it. And the second part of it is that the shot was very, very weak and very, very slow. And the third part of it was that it was quite central. I feel like I could have saved that penalty. Don't let that guy take any more penalties, Vitinha. Good player, but absolutely awful penalty. Hakimi to Doué. Barcola's off, by the way. Dembele's on. Probably a good sub, I think. That's a good sub. Goes out to Saka on the right. Plays it back. Fish says, sir, I am drinking coffee. You're drinking coffee, Fish. Is it not 10:30 in Poland? I think you're 1 hour ahead of me. Yeah, it's 10:30. 10:30 at night. Kvaratskhelia. Hakimi with a shot. Hakimi scores. Hakimi scores. Mr. Ashraf. Have that, Arsenal. We love it. I think somebody was asking earlier thoughts on Hakimi. And I love Hakimi. Hakimi's now my favourite Moroccan. Another masterclass from the GOAT Arteta. Subbed on a defender when the team was losing 2-0. What did you feed him, Guardiola? Exactly. This is the thing. And this is the thing that really gets on my nerves. Like, people act like he's some sort of masterclass genius, you know, works everything out in his head, and it's like the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding tastes like crap. Like, he's never done anything. He's never won anything of any substance. I would go as far as to say all of Arteta's success, and he doesn't have any success, but all of Arteta's success is because he spent £1 billion on players. He's not a good manager. He's absolutely trash. He's got the personality of a toilet seat. And at the big stage, he always fails. Premier League, failed. Premier League, failed. Premier League, failed. Champions League, had a pretty easy draw. Played a weak Real Madrid team. Came against PSG, failed. Fish says, I live in England. No, you do not. You live in Poland. Unless you've been lying to us for the past month. Or have you swam? You could have swam from Poland to England. Do they also call the spectators at the Arsenal games tourists in the UK? Not really, to be honest. It depends. It depends on the connotation. Do you mean generally speaking? Generally speaking, they'll kind of be called kind of fans, or yeah, they'd say like fans, FANS. Hell yeah, 3-0. Let the tears fall. Yeah, the tears will be aplenty today. By people, only the Arsenal. Arsenal look completely devoid of ideas. This is it now. This is the collapse. Next season, Liverpool. Next season, kind of Liverpool are going to be stronger. Next season, Man City are going to be stronger. Next season, Man United going to be stronger. Next season, Chelsea going to be stronger. So what are this bunch going to do? Hullet Jr. says, I heard people calling them tourists because tickets are too expensive for most of the normal fans. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, we do get that kind of to a certain degree in England. But the flip side is like, we need this money to kind of pay for players, right? Like Salah is on 400 grand a week. And if the club charges £20 for tickets, we are not paying 400 grand a week salary for Salah. Saka's through. Saka should score. Saka does score. There was a bit of a mix-up at the back there. It was a long ball. Marquinhos got pushed to... That's a foul. That should be a foul by Trossard. What's the excuse going to be today? Probably something about the weather. Probably Arteta wasn't wearing his lucky socks. The goal's been allowed. That was a clear foul. That shouldn't have been allowed. Something about the weather. Something about a giant conspiracy. Aliens landed and didn't want Arsenal to win the league, so that's what it is. Probably some sort of nonsense. I wish they had artist Wenger. Wenger somehow looks a bit younger now compared to back in the day. RTO McDodge says, loving this. It will be the ref's fault too. Grass was too long, wind changed direction. Yeah, exactly as I was saying. Socks were too tight, you know. Hair was a bit too long, so weren't quite aerodynamic enough, you know. Hair was kind of weighing us down. The weather wasn't quite right. And then to top it all off, it's all going to be Liverpool's fault. It's going to be Liverpool's fault for controlling the weather. It's pretty insane. But yeah, that to me, again, even saying as a neutral and not a hater, that should have been a foul on Marquinhos. I'm just going to double check, like, what... Surely other people must think that's a foul as well. Yeah, a lot of people think that's a foul. I thought it was a foul as well. So the referees just awarded them a goal when there was a clear foul in the build-up. You have absolutely no idea how much I will enjoy the AFTV tiers. Go get him, Lee, Robbie and Ty. Yeah, Lee will be gritting his teeth like... Is this the same Lee who spent the entire season saying Liverpool haven't played anyone like? You know, they haven't played anyone like. 34 games into the season, they've not played anyone like. Fish asks, "Where's my brother?" I know where your brother is, but he told me not to mention it to you, so I'm afraid I can't say. No, Ty will be like, the days are too long, the Earth's been spinning too fast. Yeah, Earth's been spinning the wrong direction. Calafiori to Saka. Ooh, Saka hits that over. Come on, PSG, don't lose your nerve here. Don't lose your bottle. Do you think like Ty is like genuinely like that, or is he playing a character? I kind of go back and forth. Oh shit, I just realized I ain't put the Arsenal goal on. He's done it again. He's done it again. He's bottling everything. Oh. Ryan says, I hope it's a character. Yeah, I hope to God it's a character. Because he's like in his 50s, isn't he? And if he's genuinely like that, that level of delusion is not healthy. So yeah, I hope he's putting on an act to a certain degree, and he's not quite that deluded. I mean, wasn't he saying that Arsenal are like bigger than Liverpool? Arsenal are bigger than Real Madrid. Kvaratskhelia here had a quiet game by his standards, but still looked a bit threatening. Plays it to Ruiz. Plays it back to Dembele. Ooh, again, shot it straight at Raya. Ref's blown the whistle. Not for full time, just for a foul, I think. Yeah, bigger butlers, exactly. Like we were saying earlier, Ryan, why have they got so much chest? They're literally just a red Spurs. Literally just Spurs from Sainsbury's. That's all they are. Why they talk big, why they talk tough, I will never understand. Like, if they win one big trophy, and by big, I mean Premier League or Champions League, then yeah, you can talk big for the next 10 years. I think. Maximum next 10 years. Arteta's making a sub when he's 3-1 down. And what is the sub? He's bringing on a defender. He's bringing on Ben White, fresh off the tanning bed. Ooh, Hakimi took a shot from 30 yards out, almost scored. But yeah, Ben White coming on fresh from the tanning bed with a set of beautiful fake eyelashes, I think. Tan looking on point, blusher looking on point. Foundation could do a bit of work, Ben, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see Ben White leave his mark on the ball if the ball touches his face. Timber, Rice, Saliba, Partey, Odegaard. Ooh, nice tackle, Dembele. Sorry, Nuno Mendes. Poor pass. It was a poor pass, but Hakimi gets to it. I used to believe he plays a character, but when he says Real Madrid, Liverpool are nobodies, yeah, take you to a mental asylum, yeah. I mean, if Real Madrid and Liverpool are nobodies, fine, if that's what you think. But then, what does that make Arsenal then? Ben White on for Timber, right back on for right back. Or Ben Orange, as we should call him. Yeah, Arsenal with their defender obsession is truly bizarre. Fish says no, Milinkovic Savage. You said that yesterday. What's the I don't think they're playing, or are they? He's inside, isn't he? Ryan says I can't wait to support Inter in the finals. Yeah. I'm not sure who I'd support at the moment. If it's between PSG and Inter. If PSG win it, then we can say the team that beat us win it. So we went out to the champions. But then the flip side is if Inter win it, then it's revenge on PSG for knocking us out. So Ryan wants Inter to win. Yeah, to be honest, I don't mind too much either way. I guess I might be leaning a bit towards Inter because they're more of a genuine club in many ways. Historically, they're more of an institution. Oh, come on, PSG. Oh, no. What's his name? Hakimi's through because Saliba completely missed the ball. Kvaratskhelia. Saliba's not having a great... I mean, he's having an okay season, but not by the standards he set last year. Saliba's good at a lot of things apart from defending. But however, it's going to be a wonderful game. It will be a fun game. It will be a fun game to watch. I'm looking forward to it. Calafiori just shoving Kvaratskhelia there. Calafiori gets booked. And Kvaratskhelia gets booked as well. And I'm like, but Calafiori was the aggressor. So why are you... I sometimes feel like that's the referee taking the coward's way out if they book both players. Because then you're not really making a decision as a referee. And I like... Okay, maybe Kvaratskhelia shoved him first. I just saw the replay. Come on, as a casual or neutral, how do you justify bringing in a defender when your team is 3-1 down? Pure genius. I hope he never joins the management side for Barcelona and Liverpool, yeah. Liverpool won't want him in large because of his Everton connections, and in large because Saka's getting booked now. He's going to start limping soon, isn't he? But yeah. I mean, Barcelona would be a step up from Arsenal, and I think if you haven't succeeded at Arsenal, Barcelona ain't going to want him. Durwood says, it will be a nice game to be a neutral. It will. It will be a nice game to watch as a neutral. Should be a lot of goals. A lot of good players on display. So yeah, it'll be fun to watch. Man, I don't know. PSG has a snake and Inter beat us, but I will go with Inter. yeah, fair enough. To be honest, right now I'm a bit undecided as to who I'd support. But I'm slowly being convinced to support Inter. I'm seeing the logic. Ryan says, yeah, Saliba hasn't been impressive this season. Yeah, he's looked quite ordinary this season, especially kind of with respect to all the hype he was getting last season. Last season he was better than Van Dijk. He was better than Maldini. He was better than sliced bread. But this season, he's looked human. He's looked human to a certain degree. He's very good at a lot of things, but he's not great at defending. Ramos is coming on for number 25. For Nuno Mendes. Okay, interesting. Is that like an attacking substitution by PSG? Striker on for a left back? That is weird. Fish's top 10 hottest footballers list, which changes every single day. Number 1, Henry. Number 2, Fish. So he's in position number 2. 3, Ryan Garcia. 4, Daley Blind. There is no number 5. So I'd like to think I'm number 5. 6, Kvaradona. 7, London. That's a city, unless there's a player called London. 8, Mamadou Fall, who you made me Google last time. 9 is... Do you mean Saliba or Saliva? Who knows? And 10 is you as well. So your position 2 and your position 10. And I'm going to take position 5 because you've not named... Oh, you've even said it there. 5 you. Okay. I'll take that. Good enough. Who's going to be the next Ballon d'Or winner from England? Hopefully Salah. I think Salah deserves it. I think Salah has single-handedly carried Liverpool to a title, pretty much. And again, I don't know if it's silly to say this, but I think you also have to take Salah's age into consideration. That he's well past the 30 mark. And he's still performing to this level. So that in some ways that makes it more impressive than if he was mid-20s, you know what I mean? He's doing it as someone who's almost in their mid-30s. That makes it even more impressive. Like if like a 43-year-old was doing that, you'd be like, what the hell? Ryan says, I'm pushing the propaganda of Salah Ballon d'Or, so am I biased? No, you're not biased. I think it's fair reasoning. I think Salah deserves the Ballon d'Or. Maybe we're both biased. I mean, I can't say I'm unbiased given the shirt I'm wearing. But yeah, I think Salah deserves it, man. Better than Maldini, yeah, sure. The guy who's the owner of the term defending. Man, where do Arsenal find these atrocious takes? If Arsenal would have won the Champions League, Saka would be better than Messi, better than Salah, better than Haaland, better than Ronaldo. Yeah, delusional club. RTO McDodge says, how much extra time? 5 minutes. 5 minutes of extra time. We're just 25 seconds in now. So Arsenal are 4 minutes away, RTO, from having a disaster of a season. A trophyless disaster of a season awaits this joke of a club. I mean, they've got to score 2 just to make it even, so it's probably ain't gonna happen. Sonny trying to get me banned, saying it's time to party. And please don't concede after I say this like yesterday. Yeah, after you say it's time to party, then the team concedes. So keep the partying for after the final whistle. Harry says bit annoyed. Is there a reason you're a bit annoyed, Harry? Is it at the performance? Is it about the game? Hasn't been quite as high scoring as yesterday? What is the reason for the annoyedness? Just lost 40-0. How the hell do you lose 40-0? Is that even possible? Is that even possible? Are you in like you must be like quite high in the divisions then. Like you must be quite high in the because I think I've never played EAFC. The last one I played I think was FIFA 23. So I've not played any of the EA ones. All right, I'm not the best. I'm a mate. Okay, but even then, like, even if you're playing with your mate, he should be. You know, like if I'm playing with my friend, once I've gone like 5-0 up, I'll probably won't score anymore. Just to be nice. Your friend has no chill. Your friend has no chill. Trossard, you know what I mean. Your friend needs to learn some friendship and some etiquette and some manners to say, you know what, I'm 5-0 up. Let's let Harry get back into this game a little bit. RTO says Arteta won 2 community shields though. He won't let you forget. He's proud of them, bless him. Yeah, I think he eats his roast dinner off one of them. Because that's what they're bloody good for, right? Cook your chicken, stick it on the community shield. And the other one, I don't know, probably bashes himself over the head with it. That's how he comes out with these ridiculous takes. The absolute clown that he is. Hullet Jr. says, have you played Football Manager? I go through phases. Of Football Manager. There is a gaming PC over there. I don't know. It's hard to tell because it's. I got a case which kind of matches the room, but that white thing with the brown horizontal. But not the last one, but the one before that. I think 23. I accumulated a lot of hours on that. So yeah, I go through phases. Like I'll have 1 year where I'm like properly into it. I do like so many saves. I always start with the Liverpool save and then I go for a weaker team later. But yeah, this past year one, I haven't really been playing it that much. I'm currently playing Resident Evil. I need to finish Resident Evil first. Harry says sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. But Isak scored most of them, team of the season. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, having Isak up front surely has to be a cheat code to a certain degree. This confirms my take. Chelsea is still the top team from London. I'm with you on that. Chelsea are the biggest team in London, and apparently this is a controversial take. Saka's through, fluffs it up because he's because he's not Mo Salah. I know Arsenal's got more league and FA, but what has they done in 20 years? Nothing. Nothing is the answer. They've won one FA Cup, which Arteta won with Emery's players. As soon as Arteta started spending money, he won nothing. So they've pretty much got nothing to show. And guess what? He'd be kicked out of any footballing community besides Arsenal, yeah. Full-time whistle, guys. Full-time whistle, guys. Arsenal go out. Arsenal have had a disaster of a season. An absolute joke of a team have had a joke of the season. They're going to cry about it now. I have work tomorrow, but I'm going to be watching AFTV videos just to see them cry about it. I thought they were going to win the league, mate. Nope. All right, I thought they were going to win the Champions League, mate. Nope. Harry says, my mates are laughing at me and just quoting Mbappe thing. Like last season, I got too many yellows. Yeah. Your mates are not being very nice. They're not being very kind by the looks of it. He's also got 95 team of the season. Haaland up front and Isak, one striker in 4-4-2. So like team of the season, Haaland. He must have spent a lot on cards, I think. RTO says, cheers lad, off I go to Twitter. Yeah, I'll be there in about half an hour. Twitter and then maybe some AFTV. But yeah, thanks for your comments, RTO. Take care. Let me guess, the injuries made them lose the Champions League. Yeah. The injuries and the way the wind was blowing and there's something in the water and, aliens landed and aliens abducted the real Saka and then replaced him with a fake Saka, and that's why, that's why I didn't perform. It's always the fault of literally everyone else and literally everything else apart from Arsenal Football Club. It's never their own fault. Hulet Junior says, I better go to bed. Thanks for your comments. It was my first time watching your stream. Won't be the last. Everyone sleeps well. You too. Take care. And thanks for your comments as well. And yeah, see you next time. Take care. Harry says, no, he's just got pack luck. Well, he must have amazing pack luck for these players. You sure he's not like secretly spending loads of money on the packs? Because surely like a team of the season Haaland, and again, I don't play the game, so I don't know, but like surely a team of the season Haaland is like a very rare card. You know what I mean? He must be spending a lot of money. Sunny says, Arsenal, oh mighty Arsenal, you fall again and we can, your crying faces, don't be shy, mighty Arsenal. The crying will be spectacular. Will be wonderful to see today. Jet lag's another one. Jet lag's another excuse they're gonna come out with. It's always the fault of something else. It's never their fault. Ben White's crying and like his fake tan is like literally coming off his face as the tears go down. Nah, the universe made them lose. If the Big Bang happened 2.5 seconds before that, they would have won. Yeah, 100%. If the particles of the universe were a slightly different size, they would have won. Saliba looks dejected after that bang average performance. My mate asked, team of the season Neymar or world peace. I'm predicting team of the season Neymar was perhaps the more popular choice in this debate. PSG celebrating. Marquinhos dancing. Partey looks devastated. Better keep an eye on him. Sunny says, well, time to say adios. Hasta la vista, sayonara. But today I feel happy. Not a specialist in failure, me, just a special one. Bye. No worries, Sunny. Take care. Good to chat to you as always. And yeah, see you next time. Off to AFTV. I'll be there later. They said that because they wanted to say, does world peace have 5 stars? Probably not, to be honest. And once you get world peace, a week later there'll be team of the season world peace. So you know what I mean. Maybe team of the season or planet of the season world peace is better than just normal world peace. PSG setting their flares off here. Good stuff. Cool. All right. Well, I got work tomorrow, which I don't want to go to, but it is what it is. I'll probably be back on Sunday. So Sunday, we're gonna do Liverpool versus this bunch of losers over here. So we're gonna give these guys a battering on Sunday. Harry says, right, I'm going to go now. Sorry for all the disruption. That's all right. No, we appreciate you, Harry. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate learning about how it's going on EAFC. But yeah, I'm gonna go as well. I've got to wake up early tomorrow. But yeah, I'll be back on Sunday, guys. Liverpool versus Arsenal. So yeah, see you guys Sunday. Take care.